Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana show here, right here on Kaieteur Radio. We've been coming to you day in and day out, and we thank you for joining us, for being with us, for keeping us company, for keeping us engaged. And so we are once again here today, and it is September the 30th. It is the last day of the third quarter of 2020, and we're moving into the last quarter, which brings an end to a year which has kicked us, which has put us on the ground, which has put his knees on our neck. And that is 2020. We want to get it behind us. So welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. Many things to talk about today, but as usual, we want to finish it as early as possible because Raj is looking a little funny there. I hope that he doesn't sleep again today. Yesterday he was snoring loudly in the studio. Yesterday was Riaz's birthday. He got the pine, but he forgot the pine. And I'm going to tell you a little story what happened to the pine in a little while. But I want to say welcome, and we are coming to you from the Saffron Street studio of Kaieteur Radio here on 99.1. If you're catching us, if you want to catch us in Demerara and also in Esquibudere, and if you're in Berbice, of course, the place to be is 99.5 FM. And I want to say a good day to those folks up there, of course, in the Demerara area and in the Esquibudere area, wherever you are, whether you're driving, you're in the kitchen, you're lying down on the bed, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio. Make sure that you keep yourself safe. Wash your hands, wear your mask, do what is necessary, and of course, have to stay hydrated, drink your vitamin C. It's not that very expensive to find the vitamin C. A piece of lime or something, you just squeeze it into some water and make sure that you keep yourself hydrated there. That's the least that we could do, because as you know, the deaths have touched 80. 80 is the number of persons who have died since March, and the numbers keep climbing. Every single day we see more and more, and it's not one or two persons being tested, newly tested person, positive persons. It's in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. One day we had more than 100-something persons being tested. In the meantime, the numbers keep rising around the world. And if you would have watched Donald Trump versus Joe Biden presidential debates in the U.S. Last evening, it was rollicking. One man told the other man, "Shut up." And then there were a lot of things being said there, but it was like a battlefield at the end of the day. Who watched it, watched it. But let's come to Guyana. Guyana is what is important, and so we want to talk about what it is that you need to know as a people of Guyana today. And of course, we would want to hear from you in a very short while. What is affecting you? What you think the government should be doing? What you think that the opposition should be doing? And generally your comments. You know, this is the show, the Wake Up Guyana show, in which you wake the people of Guyana up to what is happening, what is important, like bread on the table. Where's the money coming from? Oil. Oil is the big thing that we should be talking about, that we should get it right, because the criticism is that this oil deal that we have right now, if we get it right, it's going to put money in your pocket. And if you don't say anything, don't do anything, but allow a few people to be talking about it, you ain't going nowhere, and you'll be fighting for a few dollars here and there, and we'll be asking for a few frack here and there. In the meantime, we have the oil in our backyard here, and if we just tell them that we want a better deal, and if we fight for that deal, we could be in a much better position instead of now scrambling for a $25,000. And of course, I did promise you sometime with the order to bring Mr. Glenn Lal on into the studio here, because I know that he's very passionate about it. And wherever you are, Mr. Lal, good day to you and the crew. So let's get right down into it. There is in the front page of the Kaieteur News today, your largest selling daily newspaper. It's Wednesday edition, September the 30th. And this is what the headline says: Barbershop Scandal. Christopher Jones gifted state lands twice. Trevor Ben waived land fields. And this is an interesting situation. And let me, if you're not familiar, let me very quickly bring you up to speed what is happening. Christopher Jones would have happened to be one of the up-and-coming young candidates within the coalition. He was also the former director of sports. He was one of the faces of the coalition who would have been pushing for the elections to be overturned and fresh elections held, because it was the elections were filled with fraudulent activities. Now he is on the investigation with regards to a number of activities, and including one of them would have been his transactions. He would have applied to a government program that would have been open for poor people of Guyana. If you want to start a business or so on, it is there. It's called a SLED program. And he applied for that as a director of sports, saying that he wanted to open a barber shop. The police were investigating that. They found that he received the equipment but never opened the barber shop. And then the land, there was a piece of land that was involved. They couldn't find any evidence that he had started anything. Fast forward, there's stories coming out now how he got that piece of land. The land ended up with him, and it looks as if he's not given just one but two pieces of land. And how he got those lands, it seems as everybody bent over backwards to ensure that he got his lands. And in fact, the land landed in his name, or the company's name, which he's associated with, after March the 2nd, which would have been the elections. And you know, and I know, and everybody knows that you can't just be doing any kind of transactions like these, especially when you have a caretaker government, and also knowing that this was not an ordinary man. So the police are investigating whether he lied also on his application form, because if you're saying that you want to open a business, this was applicable to the poor people of Guyana. So this is a developing story here, which Kaieteur News is going to continue to follow, and we, of course, are going to continue to follow and update the people, because Christopher Jones now, as you know, he's taking on a very important role, and that is no other than the opposition chief whip in Parliament, and that is a key role that he is expected to be playing there, and so he's on the investigation. Rystad expects Exxon to commit $3.6 billion to Payara this year. So they're not stopping. There's a story that's coming out here in which Exxon is going ahead full speed with its development. There seems to be not any attention paid to the calls, several calls by international local persons for a renegotiation. And so business as usual, Exxon is steaming ahead. I did see this morning a very interesting story that is breaking. Somebody wrote it about Nigeria. Probably have to share that with you when we would have fleshed it out, about how they would have gotten it wrong. And we would have been publishing it here in Kaieteur News about this big nation that is one of the biggest supplier of oil to the world. And when you look at what they supply, that is against the development, what they would have had, well, it leaves a lot of questions. We are in the early stages of the game. Did we get it right? Could we get it right? What are we saying? We asking the right questions. Are the authorities listening? And are they delivering? That's the question. UK investment firm expands influence in the Guyana Basin, and this is an interesting story too. You would have this company here that has started. People are interested in the oil that Guyana has, so they're buying out shares, and that's what the story is all about. Keeping corruption at bay. Vet all oil companies to verify beneficial owners, and this is an exporter saying there. So when people come to you and say they want to invest in Guyana and they want to do anything, we have to check, where do they come from? Do they have the expertise? Do they have the wherewithal? Do they have the banking capacity and so on? We don't want any Tom, Dick and Harry. Gildarie can't just get into the oil business. I don't have a track record in the oil business, so how am I getting in? How do I own a piece of land when I don't have any track record to show that I would have 100 acres of land that's worth $30 million per acre, but I don't have any track record that says that I have that kind of money that we're talking about here. So we have to verify that any company that comes here and you want to do business with us, let us know about you. We want to know about you. So we have to do good due diligence, meaning we have to check into the background. You have to provide us with the evidence. If there's a banker that you're dealing with, they would have to probably provide us some of those information there as to how well of a person or good of a person that you are in the business field. Foreign investor secures majority ownership in Church's Chicken. Interesting story here again. It looks as if it's not that the people within Church's has sold out the entire company. What they're doing is restructuring and says, I bring in a partner here, and the people are going to bring in the finances, and so they could expand. You know, Church's is a very popular fast food outlet in Guyana, competing with KFC and the others, Royal Castles and so on. Nissel warns about selling lands in the vicinity of the proposed East Bank bypass. Interesting story. You recall that if you're building any structure, the Berbice Bridge was one of them. People bought up lands in the area when they heard it was going in a specific area, the Crab Island area, and I think the Palmyra area and so on. And then they sold it at exorbitant fees to the bridge and so on. So that's the story that was coming out. So Nissel is warning early in the game here that they've noted that persons are selling lands around the area where they want to put a bridge, which is between Nandi Park area there, between Peters Hall and Providence. That Coquet is there. They're hoping to stretch the Harbour Bridge, the new Harbour Bridge, cross that, do it overpass, kind of, and so it gets over that area and then link up with the 4-lane highway. But it seems as if people were capitalizing, people speculating right now, selling out lands, buying lands and so on. They say, no, don't you do that. Team of engineers authors a probe asphalt, planned probe racket, and this is another one that the Minister of Agile says very, very clearly. People we're producing asphalt at a plant that is owned by the government, and they're saying that there's some racket there that is seeing the asphalt being sold out at half price. Now, you and I could do some projections and see how do you arrive at half price. Is somebody going to be doing something? It's either you're producing and you overstating or understating. Something is happening, but we're going to get to the bottom of it, and that's a story we continue to bring to you as it develops. Bandits invaded Canal Number 1 home, beat occupants, escaped $2.4 million. This is a story that did raise my eyebrows this morning, because there was another story that happened right across in Baggersville on the west bank of Demerara. A cop from the TSU, this is the Tactical Service Unit of the Guyana Police Force, was sitting on his bike, and he was robbed. The cop was robbed of the bike and cash in his pocket, I think a couple $100,000. Somebody knew they escaped with the bike and everything. I think it's one of those XR. I'm not sure. Is it XR? I think, yeah, that's it. A man faces jail for breaking into morgue, having sex with woman who died from COVID-19. Interesting story here again. This man, persons went into the morgue in Region 1 in the Port Kaieteur area there to look after one of the relatives, and they caught this man on top of a woman. The woman happens to be dead, and it was later found out that she died from COVID-related complications there. He is before the court, supposed to be sentenced today, and it looks as if there's something wrong with this gentleman. He broke into the morgue and took a chance to do it, and so I'm not sure. He is in isolation. And they're looking at the situation, but it's a very shocking story there. It's obvious that he needs help, because who does these things? Dutch national arrested submachine gun catch at Berbice backtrack. Worried about the story here. We know that the Berbice has locked off that quarantine river because of the COVID-19. Suriname is monitoring it. There's a boat that landed. Customs officers went and they searched the occupants that got up. Found this Dutch national with a submachine gun and cash, several $100,000 in his pocket, and of course a submachine gun with several rounds in it. The issue here is not that they found him with a gun, is how it is that we continue seeing people crossing that border here. What is happening to the authorities there? Don't we have people at the specific points monitoring? And then how many more cases like this would have happened that we don't know about? That is what I'm worried about. PPPC reverses coalition's tax hikes, and this is several instances where taxes went up and the coalition would have reversed it. Hucksters, I think the auctioneer's license, there's one, and then they would have raised, I think, the mortgage relief limit. We are going to have a discussion sometime or the other with regards to that, because when you raise the tax ceiling and so on, and the mortgage increase limits and so on, it has effects, positive effects on persons who would have been dealing with mortgages and so on. And so maybe sometime or the other we could probably bring a couple of the banking officials and let us talk about how you could benefit, how some of the timings now, how you could cash in on getting some of these mortgages if you happen to have something, and you also could have some tax write-offs from that too. These are all part of the arrangement that is in right now, and we like to see taxes being reduced, because every time taxes being reduced, it means money in the pocket of the people, and that is how the authorities got to be thinking, not raise taxes. Every time you do that, you are reducing spending power. The answer to a country's economy cannot be that we raising taxes all the time. So there's another interesting story here. Balgamin is temporary head of the new National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. He's a Ministry of Finance official, been around for a very long time, and he has been placed there as a temporary head. And here's the issue that they have right now. They've announced with the swearing in of a new board for the tender board this early this week by Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel, who has some financial portfolios right now under the Ministry of Finance also. He is saying, and the other officials are saying, that the evaluators, these are the people who would represent the experts who are looking at whenever tenders go in, they would look at it and see who is better than the others. In many cases, there's a lot of skullduggery that's happening here. Here, Juan Edgel is the minister saying very, very clearly, we are going to put these evaluators on the scrutiny because there's been reports of skullduggery here, and I like this. These are the kind of actions, these are the kind of words that we should be hearing from our authorities. People have been doing a lot of nonsense. You hear that the actual people, when you hear corruption with projects and so on, you have to look towards the engineer, you have to look towards NPTAB and so on, what would have happened in the past, because many accusations would have risen, reported on, but it gets nowhere. You could remember a very famous case in which a man would have been working in the tender board, very respected man, a trainer in fact, and he would have been caught in a scandal with regards to pulling out documents and so on. The matter went nowhere. He was removed from there and placed in another department right in the Ministry of Finance. So these are the things that we look at very, very quickly. Let me see if there's any other thing that we missed in the Kaieteur newspaper of today. The president would have addressed the UN meeting, another UN meeting, and he's saying the COVID-19 response should involve mass immunization when there's a COVID-19 vaccination, and he says debt relief and grants is also something that should be available, and UN has to play a role in this to make sure that it reach the poor people, that it reach the business who've been affected, and of course them boys. Never forget them boys, the most popular piece in the Kaieteur newspaper. Everybody reads that. Shame does make people lose face. It's always a funny thing to read it, but it has a very serious underlying message there. Let me see if there's any other thing that we should know before we get into the people business today. Okay, man faces coalition activists arrested as coalition fraud continues. You would remember Carol Joseph, West Babi's councillor, who is also part of the national recount. She has been arrested. She was arrested yesterday, then later sent on bail about her possible role in the elections fraud, and so she was released. She went into with her lawyer to the CID headquarters there at Gildarie, then was released. And let me see, the COVID-19 death toll reached 59 new cases. Same thing we were talking about here. There's another escapee. Somebody escaped from the Luziknan jail. I'm getting a little worried about this. Every so often, you hear people escaping there. There's a fence, this perimeter around the place. How does these people jump these fences? How do they do it if the fence surrounds this entire jail? Several layers between the prisoners and the actual front fence, and so how do you reach that front there without the guards who are standing in high towers not seeing what happened to the spotlights and so on that they have in that area there? Every time I see something like this, I get very worried, because you can remember 2 prisoners were killed recently with one they tried to rock down the front gate of the prison after 2 ministers went there, the Minister of Health and the Minister of Home Affairs. There's Robertson Ben and Frank Anthony were there, and they were chased out, pelted. but they tried to break the door down and the gate down, and they were two persons shot and died. And so that is the story of the moment with regards to what you need to know. And so we have many things to chew about there today. CARICOM General Insurance, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Inc., 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. So let me get back to, before we go to the lines, I want you guys to start sending those messages to us very early. 6222222, let us hear what is bothering you. And of course, for those persons who were concerned about the NIS and that number I would have gotten to you yesterday, let me call that back out so you would know that you could call that number now. But of course, we could still discuss NIS and so on. Tomorrow, the Public Utilities Commission, one commissioner at least, and another official of the Public Utilities Commission is going to be on the program. They've already indicated that they want to be on the Wake Up Guyana show to discuss a couple of things with the people of Guyana, developments there. And you know the Public Utilities Commission, what they do. They are the regulators for the utilities company in Guyana, including Guyana Water Inc., the Guyana Power and Light, and of course Digicel. And so anything that you have with complaints, like if you got a service, it went down with GT&T and they haven't put it back on time, they could probably, you could get on to the PUC. And of course, a couple of people would have been complaining, but the numbers not being answered. And so I'm going to raise this thing back with them tomorrow. Let them tell us the numbers so we could be able to solve these issues. Can't sit on them. Every day we harp on them and get the authorities to fix it, because people don't have time to waste. So you and I don't have time to waste. We have to fix it. So I want to say good day to all the folks right across Guyana who've joined us, and of course overseas. Not forgetting you guys. You've been with us day in, day out, saying hello, giving us the encouragement, making a contribution. Some of it very funny. In fact, I believe that some of you have adopted some family during this program here, which would have started on March 2nd. We've continued in some form and format, and you would have adopted some of the people that you've been chatting with. There's even back chats, cross chats, and so on across with the Kaieteur radio here on the various program. We would have had elections and COVID-19 watch, then room 592. Good day to Dr. Yogmahadio and the folks there at his organization. You know that he's a chairman of the Guyana National Newspapers Limited, and of course I know that he's going to make sure that he what he's promised to ensure that place is streamlined and not be run in the way that it was run before. And I'd be very happy to hear some of the changes that he started making. I'm wondering if there's a meeting. I haven't spoken to him for a couple of days, but I'm going to call him maybe a little later and let's see what happens. A good day to you, Dr. Yogmahadi. And of course, Riaz celebrated his birthday yesterday, 49th birthday I think it was. And I think he didn't want to tell us, but I think Raj and I decided it was 49 years old. Raj, what are you eating? You had some food just now? Raj, eat some food just now. You didn't share? And look, what's it that you giving to me? Raj has given me something like a lollipop. It's an umbrella. I'm not sure. It's an umbrella. It's a carp something. Raj always do some crazy things. Yesterday, I must tell you that he fell asleep. And that was an indictment on Gildarie. He fell asleep during the program. And then he says, it was a power nap or something like that. So whatever it is, Raj, he's not going to fall asleep today because we're going to keep him. In any case, 4 pints came here. Is it 2 for Gildarie? A lady says, I must bring pint for you. Bring 2 for me and 2 for the birthday boy. The birthday boy forget his and he could say goodbye to it because the people eat it out. So I want to say good day to you, Riaz. Don't come asking me for pint. You had your time. If you were looking at the Trump and Biden, before we go to the calls, Trump and Biden interview last night, I think it was all over the place. It was a battlefield. I think Trump is such a irrational person that would be all over the place, and he went after Biden, interrupting him from time to time. Mr. Biden, as the other presidential candidate, got as exasperated after a little while and says, "Shut up." And so it was one of the many instances which characterized this debate. I'm not sure whether you could say it's a debate. It's more of They did talk on several issues, but I'm looking forward to see whether we have an improvement or Trump sticking to what he knows best, which is a brawl, is going to continue with it in the next debate, which I'm not. I got to check back the time when that is going to be. But it is good. Let us pay attention to what is happening in the U.S. We have many families here, and even they sneeze, we catch a cold across here, and that's how it is. It's one of the biggest democracies in the world, and we have to pay attention internationally. When you see countries like China and Russia and India and the U.S. and so things happen there. Even our neighbor in Venezuela, we cannot say that we divorced from what is happening there because it affects us. What is happening to the Venezuela oil, what is happening in the political situation there has an impact on us because you would know that the U.S. is here right now and they have very keen interest in democracy, they say, to be returned to Venezuela, and so we have an agreement with them right now to protect our borders. So when the oil situation gets a little bad, Venezuela always like to divert the attention, claiming parts of Guyana to take away from some of the domestic issues that they have there. So we got to continue to pay very close attention, keen attention to that. In the meantime, 2267453. I know there's a couple of happy people in Guyana. I can't tell you what it is, but ever so often people will be calling us and ask us, we need some help here and there and so on and so forth. We don't forget that. We reach out to those people in as much as we can, and we do pass out the information to the ministers or so in as much as that we can, because that's what the show is here. This show on Kaieteur Radio is to make sure that the people they have a forum in which they could be able to raise the issues that bother them. And so wherever you are, you might think it's a very small issue. And let's don't get into personalities so much as to accuse Gildarie of being a thief or so on. But let's talk about the issues that affect Guyana. You could say the overseer. We've called the overseer to a place and he's not doing that. This is what this thing is about. But instead of saying that Gildarie's done so he's a thief and thing, let's don't get down. Let's bring this show to another level. It is your show. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. So it's 2267453. Or you could send us those messages, 6222222. Do you have a call on line there, Raj? Yes, already. Yes, good day, caller, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm having a little issue. My granddaughter is attending CI primary school.
Yes.
Nursery, sorry, CI nursery.
Uh-huh.
And her teacher, you're not getting on to her at all. She's not getting no schoolwork or anything.
The CI nursery, have they opened, or do you know if all the students are getting help? If they're doing anything with all the students?
Yes, the other teachers for the year 2 students. Because I spoke to a lot of parents who are in the street. The kids are in year 2. And the teachers are WhatsApping them with schoolwork for the kids. But my granddaughter is not in the other class with the same children in the street here. She's in other class, and I'm not getting on to her teacher at all.
Did you try to reach out to the regional? It's a public school. There's a region 3 education department across there. Did you try to reach out to them to find out whether
I have no number. I have no contact number or anything that I could get with anyone.
Hold on, let me just say, fortunately, a lot of people will be asking for numbers. Let me see right away if I could give you a number here. I walk with a telephone direction now. I'm not sure what it is that I'm doing. Nursery schools.
Yes.
Let me see.
And her teacher is a very young teacher, and when there is school, she's not really having that much interest and that much patience, because as a young teacher, I think the nursery school needs to have more mature teachers too to teach these children, because remember they are babies.
Well, I see the Cornelia Ida nursery school here has a number. Did you try calling that?
No, because there's no teacher there.
All right, there is. Let me tell you what I could give you. I could give you a number for the Ministry of Education, the switchboard, secretary to the minister, or let me see.
Yes.
Let me tell you who you could call. You could call the chief education officer, his office.
Under the table.
And the number for that is
Yes.
225.
Just a please.
Sure.
Please give me a pencil quickly. Yes. 225
6329.
6329.
Yes, you could raise the issue with them and maybe they could advise you what you could do, but I'm not sure how the school, that these are one of the things that are happening, that's happening, and so we got to ensure that we get to the right people. But call the chief education officer, his office here, and they would work backwards with you to probably pointing you to a number for the regional. I'm not sure what's the number for Region 3. I think Region 3, there's an education office down there. Maybe they should be in charge of that because Region 4 has one as well. But call there and you could work backwards there and probably get some numbers there.
Yeah.
All right?
I have the same reason with my son. He's 9 years old, and he attended the primary right in CI here. And due to lack of the interest of teachers, he's a slow learner, and because he's a slow learner, the teacher used to entreat him. I had to take him out and put him in a private school because I didn't want problems with the teachers. And
I'm not sure how that's supposed to be. That's something that I'm totally against. But you know what? These are conversations that we got to have because at the moment when you look at what happens in the United States and so on,
yes.
these are big no-no in the education system that you cannot discriminate. And what you're saying there, if it is indeed true, is a clear case of discrimination. However, if the kid is a slow learner, that kid would probably have to be in a different kind of learning environment, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So that is something I'm not too familiar with that area, but I'm glad that you raised it. I'd have to get myself familiarized with that.
Yeah,
but
because at one time I went to the what do you say in this at the school so not the headmistress, the other person is lower than the headmistress. I went to her a couple of times and I spoke to her concerning the same issue because he used to take my son bag and throw it out on the ground and these kind of stuff.
Wow, that's bullying.
When I went and I gave complaint, they started to throw slants on him in the classroom, and when I go to take lunch, the children would complain me, Brian, mommy, you know what Miss did X, Y, Z with Brian.
No, there's a no, and we got to raise these issues. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Let me deal with these things very, very early.
To be honest, I was so frustrated. I take my son out, and I put him in a private school.
Okay, look, I got another number here for you for the regional education officer, and I'm going to give it to you there. This is for Region 3, and this is even better than the other number that I give to you. The 264. 2457.
2457.
Or you could put 59 also you could use.
Okay.
This is a regional education officer.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's a woman or a man, but call there. But I understand what you're saying, and you could raise that issue with them too and ask them what are the possibilities. But this is one of the sad things.
I think these vouchers that the government are passing, I think he needs to look into the children that are going to, because there are a lot of reasons why parents take the children out and put them in the private schools. So I really think he should give the students them.
I agree with you. Let's see how it goes from there. But keep me posted what's happening, okay?
Okay then.
I'm glad that you called and let me know. I would like to hear how you would have progressed with this.
Yes.
Thank you very much, dear.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So I want to say good day to the folks down in Region 3. Region 3 there. Everybody, wherever you are in the area within Vreden Hope, wherever you're working in the Parika area there, on the West Bank, going down to Sisters Village, Baggotsville, Canal Number 1, Parfait Harmony, Canal Number 2, how you guys doing? Bell West, Bellevue. I want to say good day to you. They had somebody all the way from Nottinghamshire, I think, this morning in the office here, and this is across the Demerara River, just off Linden there. That's how desperate people are to get some help. But let me tell you about that $25,000. You guys would have been wondering about this $25,000 household cash grant. This is a cash. We're not talking here about anything else. And let me tell you some news what is happening here. Government says that they have started the household cash grant distribution in the Region 1 and 9 area. This is a border area. Region 1, is with the Venezuela, and Region 9, Brazil. And they would have started it, and over 8,000 persons in the Barima Waini, there's a Region 1, would have been able to force to benefit from the $25,000 per household COVID-19 cash relief announced by President Irfan Ali earlier this month. And this is, I'm reading here from a statement that came out from the government. It said just one day prior to the laying of the emergency budget 2020 in the National Assembly, the President indicated that the grant was one of several measures designed to buttress households. This is households. Let's pay attention to this word. Grappling with the effects of the pandemic. The project was officially launched by the Minister of Housing, Colin Crowell, yesterday. This is, I think, yesterday was Tuesday. On Monday, right? This would have been on Monday in Can Hill. Can Hill is in Region 1, and this is in Kaieteur, right? The minister who holds parliamentary responsibility for Region 1 says the initiative demonstrates the government's commitment to the people. Our president, when he addressed the nation, he spoke about ensuring the lives of our citizens are taken care of, and this is one such exercise, Minister Crowell said. He expects that the grant will ease some of the hardships that hinterland residents are facing following the halt in mining and other activities during the pandemic. The minister also gave assurances that the distribution will be done fairly. Residents expressed their gratitude to the government for the initiative. In an invited comment to the DPI, Mr. Rimel Santiago said he is pleased to receive his package. We heard about this, and I'm so happy that our president of this country for the budget, for this budget, so the people across the country who need a little thing at this moment can get it. I'll try my best to get something with the best for this for my home, because it's important, he said. And it goes down. Meanwhile, distribution in the Upper Takatu, Upper Escobar, this is Region 9, was initiated by the Natural Resources Minister himself, Vikram Bharat, on Monday. The minister said the exercise is a good start. You will have $200 million by the end of October circulating in the region. That's a significant boost to the economy in Region 9. We'll continue to ensure that we put money in the people's pocket, Minister Bharat says. Distribution will be done in the far-flung areas, including Region 7 and 8. This is not a government-forced COVID-19 assistance to help persons countrywide. And this is a statement that is being read. And the big question on everybody's mind right now is who is going to be eligible for it and what kind of mechanisms are they dealing with. Well, there are people within the regions who know within those areas it's a little more easy. So you go in and it says, yes, Gildarie lives here, and the NDCs and the various authorities are there, so they verify that you live there, and that's how they give it out. So there's some cross-checks and some measures that are in place to ensure that persons don't collect 2 or 3 times, and because the NDC and the other authorities are in there to make sure that it is being done. I'm not saying that there's not going to be some amount of fraud, somebody's going to try something somewhere, but that is the mechanism that I understand. When it comes to Region 4, where I don't know where Raj lives and I don't know much about his family, it's going to be a different ball game altogether. So it'd be interesting to see, other than Region 9, where everybody seems to know everybody, or Region 1, how they deal with that situation down in Region 4, 5, 6, Region 10. Well, Region 10 seems to be a little more better, Kwakwani area and so on. They're going to be some challenges there, so let's see how that goes. But in the meantime, before we go back to the lines, very quickly, let me read some comments here. Good afternoon, Leonard. Thanks for highlighting my message a few weeks back in connection with the overgrown bushes in the Kaieteur Primary School. Looks like the NDC heard you and slashed the playground. Thank you very much. I read in the papers that the ministry will be issuing work permits, worksheets for school. We are still awaiting the same for the Bell West Primary School and the Kaieteur Primary. Yes. And so good day to this. This is in the Canal number 1 area there and Canal number 2 area there. So I hope that the Ministry of Education and those folks that are listening, that is still awaiting, I think early this week, I think it was over the weekend, the Minister of Education, Manik Chan, would have been in the hinterland areas sharing out worksheets to some communities there. But on the Region 4, Region 3 area, which is more on the coast, they're complaining that they have not gotten it. So I hear you, and I thank you very much for whoever would have listened, and they decided to clean that playground. Leonard, let's keep the Wake Up Guyana show on the airwaves for the sake of educating the masses of Guyana. Sir, congratulations to His Excellency Mr. Ali for not meeting with that rebel opposition leader. He must respect the people of Guyana and the Constitution. Our leader was voted in by the people, not by aliens. I'm so happy that Mr. Ali is taking the stand not for himself but for the people of Guyana. Regarding those medical personnel that's demanding more money, what they're actually doing is putting a gun to the neck of the new government. It's obvious that the cavalier lifestyle of my Guyanese has caused this COVID-19 to spread. They deserve hazard pay, which they will get, not another dime. Whoever is instigating them to let them pay them. Let us be careful with the Chinese workers in our country. They're actually North Korean workers hired by the Republic of China for cheap labor. May Allah bless our beautiful country. May they know that they are living in one of the richest pieces of land in the world. So let's stop listening to the rebel opposition personnel whose intention only is to destabilize the government. That's coming from a listener and a viewer on this program, on the Wake Up Guyana program. Good day to you, sir. I live in the Albion area who's suffering from the COVID-19. I know the government is giving out food hamper. I don't know how to apply. When I go to the NDC and NIC, they said that they're not taking anybody's name. So how can I apply? Thank you very much. This is an interesting one. What do I say? If you're poor, you don't have access to computer, and NDC don't want to help. Well, you go back to the NDC, sir, and you could call me on my number 225-8491 at the office after the show. But I want you to talk back to the NDC and ask them, as an NDC, my representative, I want to put this to the test. And all NDCs take note. When you voted in there, you're there to represent the people. They might come to you with some strange requests from time to time. But if the older folks come and they're begging for help, they don't have access to a computer, they don't know how to use a computer, and they don't have access to the internet. It is your job to see whatever you could do. We're not in the government here at Kaieteur News. We're not part of any political party. If you talk to Mr. Glenn Lally, he's going to tell you very, very clear, we don't have a constituency in which we cater or we subscribe to. And yet we could help in our own little way. And there's so many thousands of persons who are helping in their own little way. What about the NDC who we voted in there? You know, you should make it very, very clear to them. Write letters to the newspaper and embarrass them when they do that. But go back, what I'm saying, this point from Albion, go back to them and ask them for help in which to get you signed up if you have not already done that with the Civil Defense Commission. They know what they have to do. They have received the instructions, what they would have had to do in the past if you want some help. And they're using the NDC to do that. If you see they refuse you, then give me the names of those persons. Let's embarrass them over the air. That's what we need to do. This is a serious country, and our representatives should know that they have a responsibility to the people of Guyana. And when they're in there, they've asked the people for their vote so they could represent them. So you need to represent the people of Guyana. I can say no more on that, but you guys know what you have to do there. Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to know if the sweep clean get payment. Sweep cleaners, I'm not sure about that. I would have to find out a little bit that. Today, hi Leonard, I would like to bring to the public attention and seek your advice. My husband displayed some symptoms of COVID last week, so we did a COVID test at the ministry testing center on Wednesday. 23rd. We told it will take 7 days, which is today. However, no result is yet, and my husband has to go to the hospital twice due to the loss of consciousness on one occasion of waiting. More so, I thought the minister said that on the 18th, the test will take 24 to 48 hours. Thank you for that, because this is an issue that we have to raise. They were supposed to get another COVID-19 machine. We'll have to follow up on that. Okay, and so they continue here. More so, I thought the minister said on the 18th that the test will be done and take 24 to 48 hours. What is going on? Finding his workplace. Private companies to call him today to indicate that they would terminate his work because they can't wait. It's only 7 days now. Is that right? A man fighting to survive and live to see another day. Where's the humanity? A private company, I'm not sure how we deal with something like this. So, my dear, this is a very tough one. Look, call me, text it on the 62222. Let us give me some feedback as to what is happening and some little more information about this company here. Maybe we could talk to them, and so there's the least we could do. It's a private company. I'm not sure what is the arrangements with regards to his employment or so. We can't expect a company to wait forever. However, this pandemic, so we got to be a little human in our approach to the people whenever they fall in hard times, especially if you've tested positive for COVID-19. I remember when I tested positive, I didn't stop working. I worked right through the entire thing, night and day. We ran radio from home. I was struggling. I was shivering, all kind of thing. Not that it was so bad, but it makes you a little weak. Thank God that I'm here at the moment, but I still have my job and I'm still doing what I got to do. But let me know about that person that sent us a text. Let me know about that. Good day, Mr. Leonard. A few street lights in Block 1D BAT not working. Can you please call in the authorities, sirs? You could call 226-1875. 226-1875. That's the Ministry of Public Works. Ministry Public Works. 226-1875. And they could give you a number in which to call there to get that street light up and running. So before we do that, let me stop here, go back to the callers. I think we have some callers online. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you're on the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you're on the air. Hello? Hello? I think, yes, so we would have lost that caller. Whenever you're calling us, just lower your volume on your radio, please, because it's going to send a feedback, and just get ready there. Let's read a couple more messages there. Hi, good afternoon, fans of Fort Island. Love your program. See your face soon, bro. Respect always. I want to say good day to the folks down there. Always giving us a shout out from Fort Island at Squibble River. Should visit there sometime. It's a beautiful little island that has some historical significance there. Lots of history there with some forts that would have been there back in the old days. You know, the old days you and I would not have been alive then. Just back in the other centuries. Let me see that. Hello, sorry, I hear that the agriculture minister is saying that the Rosal factory will start grinding on the first crop of 2022. I would like him to say when the Skelner factory and then more factory will start grinding. Very good question. I'm not sure. You have to get cane to do that. Do they have the cane? We're not sure. We'd have to ask those questions. We bring the stories to you as we continue. Terry Danrads. I think I can remember the story here. The driver of the car which Terry was driving in is charged. My client was a truck driver, Eric Kennedy. More details to follow. This is interesting. So I can remember this case here. Very popular boy that would have died. And this is not too far away from Kaieteur News, just at the corner there. So let us see where that goes. I'm going to have to send this to me. Okay. One second. I'm just doing this. Do we have another call in line there, Raj? Let's go in the call in the meantime. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, Mr. Gildarie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You can remember I spoke to you last month about my light bill come $17,000.
Yes, I think I can remember something about
right.
some light bill.
And the meter reading is lower than the one on the bill.
When you talk to them, what is that?
No, I received a bill about half an hour ago. The light bill comes $19,000 this month now, and the meter reading and the meter is way lower than the one on the bill again. I spoke to PUC last month. I called them about a half an hour ago again. They said, how do I look into it? Nothing until now. I sent all the meter reading to the GPL WhatsApp and so on. Nothing is doing.
Oh man, I hate to hear things like that. Nobody moving on these things.
I call PUC half an hour ago. I talked to Mr. Amani, Mr. Ganga. He told me to look into it. I talked to Miss Banker last month. I could speak with her. She's on leave and no response. They said they rectified the bill last month. The bill come $19,000 this month. Last month one was $17,000. This one is $19,000.
Man, like we walk in to pay bills. Well,
I
here
don't know,
is a
like
good
working
thing.
for pay bills or something. Because
Uh,
I can understand that how we WhatsApp them all this information from the 6 to 11. They give them all this information and still the bill wrong. The meter reading they show less, the bill is showing high.
All right, what I'm going to do for you, because tomorrow, this is a complaint that I've been having. Tomorrow, I'm going to have PUC officials here. I'm going to raise that issue there. What the use you having a PUC and the people can't make a complaint during the pandemic, or they can't see a resolution to it? So let me see what they would answer, because they
Because
need to fix that.
all the bill come back the same, and this bill back in 19, the 17,000 plus and 19 again after this bill here again back.
I hear you. I hear you. So let's see what happens. Continue the liaison with them. Tomorrow I'm going to raise that issue. And you know to get hold of me so I could be
Yes,
able
I
to
know
liaise
that.
with them.
I go thanks, Larry.
Thank you very much, dear sir.
Okay.
So in the meantime, it is you're on tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio here, and I must tell you about the CARICOM General Insurance Company here, and a better value for better protection. Get your ship and car covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. So it is just about 2 o'clock thereabout, and let me tell you, we are going to go back into the lines a very short while. Let me read a couple of messages that's coming from our people here, and let me see what it says. We don't have any from here. In the meantime, there's a couple of text messages. Yes. Good day. I'm very happy to listen to you every day. I have a good heart to help people just like you, but don't have the resources. Is there an organization which I could join to do so? Yes, I'm going to give you a call in the thing. There's many things that we could do in our country, and I like to see when people says, I don't have the money, but I want to do something for my country. Guess what I do? I bully some of my friends and I say, you guys got to do something. Whether it is true, you find the way, find something. You don't have to advertise. We don't take pictures. We don't do anything. Whenever we do something, do it very quietly. Give it out. You do it and let the people. You don't need to take their pictures to do what. You don't need to prove anybody. Nobody would dare come send me a picture. What I could do is give you the people their number. You could call them and you would see for yourself how it is that they're benefiting and how relieved, how gratified they are, or how much of a help that your help has given them and improved their lives. So you could do that, but don't ask me to take pictures. I don't believe in doing that. And so you could do things very quietly in your own way, and you don't need to go into the newspaper to advertise to the entire world. Well, I share out 2 bags of rice or whatever it is. We don't do that. That's not a business that we're in. So I like to hear that. I'm going to call this person maybe, and you want to help. You don't have the resources, but you want to do something. I like to hear things like this. There's a police car that comes from GT and speeding every morning in Region 3. This morning, the driver was flashing the headlight and tooting the cockle horn indiscriminately for a pass. This car needs to leave Georgetown early to make its pickup and drive defensively. I thank you very much for that. I think that's a blue and white car. I did see it or see it at the Harbour Bridge this morning when I was coming to work, and that just after 11, if it's the same thing. And he didn't stop at the traffic light or wait. He just bored through the traffic light and went ahead of the traffic, holding up the rest of the thing. So if it is, I can remember a couple of months back, unfortunately, with when there was a crash up in Friendship there, you saw it on video, and this person was speeding, and we understand it was one of the cars, the escort cars for former President David Granger, and he was headed there, and there was a major crash, slammed into this car. Several persons died. Sometimes these vehicles here, you got to manage your time. You don't need to speed all the time or have on your thing. I mean, the police have some prerogatives or so, but it must be emergency in its nature. I can remember a couple months back that there was some big hullabaloo over this, and the authorities, the police force, would have said that they did start a couple of courses for drivers because they were finding, just in the police force as well as in the army, too many accidents. of course, and you would have to teach the police them a little more. The police are doing all kind of crazy things. You know, if they're in a vehicle, you got to see the speed. I see some of them sitting in the trays of the vehicle, and the vehicle is going full speed. And imagine you got to pull a brakes there. Where you going to end up? You're going to be off the vehicle. You're going to probably be dead. You know, these are the things that are not looking good. So we got to be very careful. When you're on the road, people are going to video you. People are going to put you up. You got to make sure that you protect yourselves. Leave a little early. You don't have to speed. I mean, some days I'm late, but I try to take care on the road there. You can't put people out because if you do something that is not expected, and they say accident chance takers are accident makers. So be very careful on the road there. Good day to the folks in Diamond. And of course, to my kids, hope that you're picking up your books there. And to my wife, my lovely wife there, she says I have the best wife in the world, and I have to ensure that I acknowledge that. And so we are going to be heading back to the lines right now. There's a call on line. Good afternoon, caller, you on the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Sorry to disturb you.
No, you're not disturbing me. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know when the housing will start seeing the public.
You want to know that the housing authority?
The housing in Britain.
Yes.
When they gonna start seeing the public? Yeah, so now.
I've been trying to get that. I'm going to text the minister back this afternoon. In fact, I did promise to do that yesterday. The housing minister. Let me make a note of it right now. For the public day, because what I do know, the last time that I spoke to them, they carrying out what you call an analysis or an audit to see what they have and where is it that they want. I know that they said within 5 years they must share out about 50,000 house lots or homes thereabout. So I think they're at that point in time in which they're ready to move forward. I think, but they haven't updated us as yet. But I'm going to ask the minister for those public days, because I remember they used to have that back in the days of Minister Irfan Ali.
Yeah, you can give me the number back for the NIS, because I was trying that number you gave me there for the past half an hour yestrday.
Maybe there's a lot of people, because they have a lot of people calling in, I understand. 6400?
I know 6400.
639.
Just hold a minute.
Sure.
6. Okay then.
Yeah, 6400 639, okay? Thank you very much, dear. Okay, so we have in the meantime, thank you very much for calling there. If I'm employed by a government ministry and I call in and told my boss that because I already know what he's going to do for that day, let me see. I'm not sure. Okay, I will not be paid for that day. No laws should be passed to the effect that if the opposition stay away from Parliament, they should not be paid for the month. It is our taxpayers who are paying them. How could one be paid for not attending work? This person is complaining here. Very good point about if parliamentarians who are supposed to deal with Parliament and they don't attend Parliament, should they be paid? It's an interesting thing. I don't think you could call it paid that parliamentarians. I think it's a stipend, but they get a good stipend. It's more than $100-something thousand. If you're parliamentarian also, there's something that's very big. A lot of people want to become parliamentarian, and when you listen to them stand up and speak, you said, wow, what did we have? What do we have here? I'm not a big public speaker or so on, but when you go to the Parliament, one of the big things that you're entitled to is what you call a duty-free concession. And a duty-free concession, you could bring a vehicle that's over 3,000 cc into the country, and there's a lot of them look forward to that. And many of them in the past would have been reportedly been selling their duty-free concession, because if you get a vehicle that is about $6 million, and if you bring it in normally, because this after you would have been, it's a duty free, so you don't have to pay no taxes or anything, and you get it for about $6 million. If a normal man got to bring that vehicle there into the country, it is going to be $15, $20, $25 million there, because a lot of taxes, and so some people would take that $6 million vehicle and flip it, give it to somebody, maybe $12 million. So you have a new vehicle in your hand, $12 million. A lot of business people who are not entitled to duty-free concession gladly would buy it. So they're sitting. The fact is, GRA needs to be a little more tight on it. So many of them go to parliament or don't go to parliament, walk out for many time, and then at the end of the month, they're being fed, they're being paid a salary, they're being given a duty-free concession. It's a talking point. Maybe it's something that we need to look at as we continue in our country. How much should we allow our people to get away with? What are some of the responsibilities? What are some of the mandates? Maybe you guys could tell us about that. I'm not sure what are some of the answers, but we gotta keep our eyes on the representations that are coming from our people, especially the ones at the NDC level, at the parliamentary level, various level, ministers, be it what positions that you're in. You have a mandate to serve. Serve is the key word. Service to the people. It is very, very important that we understand our place and they understand the place. How are we going to get our $25,000 asking for a friend? They're going to announce it when they come in the area. The region 1 and 9, they are there right now. I think there's a mechanism in that area. When you come to region 4, 5, 6, region 8, I think no, not region 8, but region 10 also, there's going to be probably another mechanism for that $25,000 cash grant for, I saw people actually getting cash for it, so I'm not sure whether to go about with large cannons of cash to those areas. So it's something we have to ask and something that we'd have to have some answers to. So I will have to wait on answers that's coming from government there. Hi, good afternoon. I went to the Skeleton Hospital on Monday. Excuse me, let me drink some water here. Hello, good afternoon. I went to the Skeleton Hospital on Monday to extract a tooth, and the nurse telling me that they don't have injection. I want to know what the health minister is doing. I don't know what Frank Anthony is doing right now. I got to find out what he's doing. But here the thing is, I'm not sure how they ran out of injection, but he did indicate that when they went in and they did an audit, several key drugs were not in the system, meaning that we were not ordering it. So somebody was, there were poor management in it. That's what he would have said. This is Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. So we have to find out. I'm going to have to find out whether there's an injection. What kind of injection are we talking about? Is it the injection to numb the gum? What is it? Is it a antibiotic injection? I'm not sure. But we need to know a little more about that. In the meantime, before we go back to the line, let me see if there's a couple of other, there's one more here. Hello, Mr. Gildarie, can I apply for the hamper and still get the $25,000 cash grant? I think you can. There hasn't been any indication that you can't. The $25,000 was announced by the president to all households affected by COVID. So if you, even though you may be rich, if you believe that you're entitled to it, you could apply for it and you could get it. Now the application is going to be when it comes down to the region 4 area. In the region 1 and the region 9 area, they've already started there, which is a small area in terms of population wise. It's a couple thousand there that adds up. And those areas there, I think region 9 is about $200 million would have to be given out the next couple of weeks. And so the figures are adding up. But with regards to the hampers, it's about 45% of the population they're saying is affected. So they're catering for that. So you could also apply for that at the CDC. There's an online thing, and I would have given that out sometime. So let's go back to the lines. So we have another caller in the air. Good afternoon, caller in the air. Yes, caller, good afternoon. So, yes, caller. I think we would have missed that one there. So 62222, 62222. You could send us those messages there to Kaieteur. That's our SMS, or you could also WhatsApp us on 6222222. Or you could call us 226-7453. We want to hear from you. What is happening in your area? I want to say good day to the folks down in Region 5, to all the farmers there who are cutting rice at the moment, and I think harvesting, some people would say. Cutting rice is with the farmer, and we cut rice right now. Good day, caller, on the air. Yes, good day, caller, on the air.
Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You know, this jailbreak at and people escaping from Lusitnan. You have to realize that the giant services and the staff, because when you look at the amount of prisoners down there, and one officer got to be assigned to, oh my.
But I don't understand that. We have a whole bunch of army people in the police. Why they don't put some more people?
Everybody get the work to do, by.
Interesting.
Jail is jail, police is police, army is army.
Yes. So how do we solve it?
Well, that's it.
I know.
Those
You
people
raise a
got to
good
try
point.
and.
We have to fix
I
it.
want to talk everything on this radio, by, but the people can't examine themselves. They can't examine themselves. You
No,
can't
we-
knock off 6 people and you want to act and they upstairs doing a whole heap of nonsense and then get a knock off. But that's a small one. Anyhow, there's a man in my area walking, this is in New Amsterdam, walking between Pitt Street and Highbridge. This man is a deportee. He's about 6 to 7 feet tall, and this man get his private outside, walking street to street. You call the police, and all the police.
What is he doing? He's walking, and what is he doing?
He's walking,
Uh-huh.
right? And he got his pants with his penis
Uh-huh.
exposed.
Uh-huh.
Exposed, and he walking with the guy, little children and big people. You know, we don't want to wait until something happens.
And this is in the Pitt Street area?
Pitt Street, between Pitt Street and Philadelphia Street.
Philadelphia.
Walking street to street. And
Alright,
when you call the police, they take an hour and a half to come, or they never come.
I'm going to send this to my reporter up there. Let she talk to I think, did we lost it? Sorry, you there?
I can get you clear.
Yeah. I'm going to send this to my reporter up in Borbis and let she get on to the commander.
Okay. That's very nice, man.
Thank you very much.
But one other thing,
Yes, sir.
You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Security. There's a gas station with a lot of old vehicles. I don't know who give these people permission to operate, if it's a fire station or who, but I went to the fire station personally, and they say they're going to send a man to check and see the condition. This gas station got old chassis and all kind of thing around the body. In case anything...
NDC, you need to get to the NDC and the EPA. They need to look into that.
Oh, my.
And the RDC and all them. You know how much powers you have? Let me tell you how much powers you have. You guys got radio stations and you got newspapers and everything. Right, you need to start embarrassing people when they're not doing the job. When the EPA is not doing the job, you need to embarrass them. When the NDC not doing the job, embarrass them.
My brother,
Do not be afraid to call them out.
December gone, I went to this present regional chairman. I think I know the whole hospital compound. If you see it now, bushy, anything happening inside the there. I went to him, he said, okay, when I come from holiday December, I send some men, like, sell it on holiday.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that this man going back, I said, oh, you have to go far along now. You have to go far along, buddy, because you know who to go to.
Mm-hmm.
This whole place upside down. There's a man in Stanleytown got a private bond with fuel. I went to the fire station, and it's same back to square one. People going to wait until something happens. You see, when you pass the area, you're smelling. It's your fuel you're smelling. And this man ain't got no, I don't know, because he got contacts. But we must not wait until something happens. Clip it in the bud before it turns fruit.
It is indeed true. A stitch in time will save 9, huh?
When you go to make complaints to some penal authority, they just look at you, and that is it. That's why you have got to remain. How is it? Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to say good day to the folks down in New Amsterdam, Region 6 there. Hope that you're doing well. Remain safe. That you protect yourself there, and of course you do what you have to do. Let's help a friend, let's help a neighbor. We can do a little things in our own little ways to improve this country, to keep the people faith alive. So here is I think there's a message coming in here. Good day to you. Hope you're doing well. With regards to customer service, I want to let you know about the attitude of the midwife and some staffers at the industry clinic. The midwife talks to you like a pig. She has an attitude towards people like when we must honor her or beg her to do her job. Somebody needs to look into this and do something about the attitude. This is going on too long. Customer service, bankers, everybody else, you got to pay attention to that. The customer is the most important person. If you're interested in customer service, they are the ones who bring you business. And if you don't treat them right, they're going to go somewhere else and give the business, and you don't want to be losing business. And so when you talk about midwife and everything, it doesn't matter which organization that you work in, whether it is at a private company, whether it's at a government office, whenever the people come to you, you should be there, ready for service. Service is very important. Do not do anything, whether you're at the GPO, whether you're at the immigration office, whether you're at the birth certificate office there, whether you go to the police station, you should do something. When police stop you, they should say, good day, good afternoon, good day, good morning, ma'am. Sir, how you doing? I'm here carrying out my routine. Not said pass the paper across it. That's not how it works. If he asks you to pass the paper, tell him to haul. No, don't do that. But you understand. You get the gist. Let us do let us do what is the correct thing. Let us do what is the correct thing when it comes to, lift ourselves to the next level. You go abroad to the different places and you could stand up and you could take pictures with the persons who serve because it's such a joy. These people look forward, even the bus drivers in the United States, even the ones with the sanitation workers. It's a job. One of the big things that people like to do across in the United States, the big jobs that they like, at least the immigrants that is going to there, they look for the jobs that are with the government. You know why? It's not that the pay is fantastic. It's the benefits because you get health care, you get a whole bunch of stuff. When you retire, they could even, so many things that happen. You don't want to work with the private sector. You want to work with the government. If you're serving government in Guyana, it's like a cost. They walk in there. The people cost you on the road, plus you costing yourself. What am I doing here? The pay is not good. So we have to start lifting the standards when it comes to operation. It should be a joy working in the public service, but we have to start. And it starts with the government. It starts with the people. Let's bring some joy. Let's bring some standards. Let's bring, levels of service that's unseen. But where do you start? Do you wait on the government to do that, to call you? No, you start right here. This is our country. We want people to be proud. Let's do that. There's another caller in the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You in the air.
Good afternoon, Leonard. How are you?
How are you doing? Long time no hear.
I am trying, you gotta try. You can't do nothing else.
No, you gotta try.
I'm amazed at some people in this country here. We had this pandemic or this sick since March. March, April, May, it's 5 months. These nurses didn't want anything. Give away March and April. They had May, June, July to ask the PNC government to give them something. They didn't do it. They didn't strike 5 years. Now they strike and they got political leaders back of them. These people take the rise and pass people in this country. I can tell you that. And the people that put money aside to them, they're still gonna strike. They're breaking the agreement with Kaieteur. And this is another thing too. The people that just gone in this government, people want injection, they want tablet, they want this, look, man, people got to behave themselves. People got to understand and try to know what's going on in this country. The people that went inside there was no drugs. You can't procure something in the morning and get it at lunchtime. Paperwork will take time to do. The Minister of Health, Mr. Anthony, said they got to procure drugs, but these things do take time. You can't get the things right away. The whole world got a pandemic here. So I don't know people fight up and there with this government. So they pay them 2 months, they ain't finished yet. Today is the last day of September. And people crying out, they want this, they want that, they want that. And during those 5 years, people didn't want anything, Leonard. Nothing they didn't want. They were satisfied. If they had to work for nothing, they work for nothing in the 5 years back. But this is the type of people, this is the type of some Guyanese what we got in this country. I don't know why people stay like this, man. I can tell you this. And people only call in and find about 25,000 and this and that. You got to take time, man. Take this take time. You don't rush things like this. People can get it. The man didn't say nobody, everybody can get it. Every household in this country going to have it. But it's the right thing to do because some hero got a smile among the people.
No, you have to start like some. But you see, I think the challenges would be in Region 4, Region 5, Region 6, Region 10. Well, Region 10 is a little more control. As Region 4, 5, and 6, they would have the problems with. Region 2, up to a certain extent. In Region 2, you could be able to know who live in which house because one threats there. You might go to the Pomeroon area there and have some, But I think it's those 3 regions that you're going to have the issues.
I think Region 4 might be the last because it's the largest region. They got to do some mechanism for Region 4.
I don't know how they can do it. I would like to see how they come up. I know it's a nightmare. Education and this thing here is a nightmare. But because a lot of people are going to double dip, they're going to come. And they can come themselves and then they can send the picnic and this and that and that. You know what happens.
Yeah. But I want thing more like that. And they take down names of some hamper or something. I know my sister called me and tell me some girl, I think, well, I won't call her name. She live right around where y'all used to live, where we used to live. They're going to take my sister's name and take other people's name for some hamper. I don't know if what is that is going on. And some people like call the NDC will find out. Cara said the NDC was supposed to know think the outside NDC, nobody don't know anything about
No,
that.
it is not, because what happened, I think there's two sets of things, which is a $25,000 cash grant to all households in Guyana, and then there's also hard hit families could also apply, and of course there's some kind of criteria for that. I think it is the Prime Minister Mark Phillips is handling this now. This has to do with hampers for the hard hit homes, and so you could probably get a, what you call it, a voucher, a grocery voucher or something like that, and you could go to a particular shop and so in the area to do that, and they are running that, and the CDC Civil Defense Commission I think is the one that you could put in. But I really got to get Kester Craig here and let us have a chat with him. He's so busy, and maybe he could tell us a little. But I'm going to call him today,
Yeah,
and
but
then
why I raised this thing last week Wednesday, I heard it on the news that 93,000 people is actually they're up for this hamper or something.
That's correct. That's correct. That is the figures that we think. But we've heard little. You got to remember, we could only report what we have here. We don't have any other kind of situation, any kind of other information that's coming.
Leonard, another thing, that foundation is still on, or is it squash or something?
No, you're talking about our foundation?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's there. It's very much alive.
Oh, he's still alive. Okay.
Yes.
I was just asking my sister because I think one people used to get things as well. I myself get one time or something like that. I can't remember when, but the girl enough easily sent something for me at time.
No problem. And I have a chat with them.
Oh, yeah, Leonard, but people gotta try. You know what I mean? I gotta try and behave themselves in this country now, man. This country need to move, and we can't try to exploit everything one time. We gotta wait. People gotta learn to get patient and wait. You know what I mean? This is my little talk today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear sir, and I want to say welcome to WRE. As I see you a little early today, sir, I must tell you that we enjoyed the pine. You know, you should have picked up a pine here.
I should have picked up a pine.
I hear the pine. I hear the pine sweet.
Oh, you mean you
I can
hear
give you 2 pieces downstairs.
What do you mean you hear the pine sweet? You didn't taste it?
No.
Trust me, the pine sweet.
The pine sweet? All right.
Yes.
It's downstairs. I have a couple of pieces.
You have
I'm
a
gonna
couple of
give to
pieces.
you.
I'll take a
You should
couple
have
of
picked it. I
pieces.
don't understand why you wouldn't want to pick up a pint. In
No,
any case, he lost out.
I lost out. I leave and I end up going away and I pass extremely late. I got some super great news. I don't know if you heard.
What's that?
Raj was on the radio yesterday.
Raj, you on the radio yesterday? You were saying what? You're singing a song?
Raj was wishing me happy birthday on the radio. Raj did it 2 versions. Raj did Hindi and then Raj explained English.
We got a boy in the layout department of Kaieteur News here, and he tells me that he plays the tabla and things like that, and I like things like that. So we're gonna bring him on radio. Maybe Raj could bust out the tune and not. So you have any particular song that you could play? Maybe one of
Raj
them.
could sing any Bollywood song.
Maybe Juma Juma or whatever it is.
Listen.
I hope I'm saying this right.
Raj could sing.
I can learn a lot
Raj
here.
could sing
I'm
any
a
song.
quick learner,
But
right?
I know you've been on Raj for speaking, but Raj speak yesterday because I refused to tell myself I didn't do it. I'm not sending greetings to myself. I just acknowledge everyone and I thank everyone. So I wasn't doing it. So Raj take the mantle up, as there were some other guys in the studio and they were playing shy. Raj said no, I will deal with this. So Raj took the mantle yesterday, and a lot of Facebook friends were saying, oh, we always hear about Raj and we glad we heard him speak. So is the pine from Canal? No, the pine is from Bellevue. Yes, so it's sweet pine indeed. Sweet pine. I could tell you, I could testify to that. I had it before. You get peace before you go down. You don't have any.
No, I hope so. Somebody's gonna die if I go down and I miss my
No,
time.
I big ups to my friend Dinesh. Oh, my friend was with me last night. Dinesh was telling me, hey, Kaieteur News open there by stop and collect the pine by. And
you
this is
missed
like
out.
a late light. Hey, Dinesh, the man he thought we pine by.
All right, so somebody here with a message. The Minister of Health needs to look into the industry health center. The midwife there is very harsh. So there's another somebody complaining here. The women there run away today, and we have a newborn baby. What? The persons there run us away today, and we have a newborn baby. So the industry health center, what is happening there? Not good enough. Need to get their act together. If it is that somebody is not being very nice, you need to be very nice. You know, people go there, they have all kind of sick. The last thing that they want is that you treat them. And even at the Georgetown Hospital, from time to time, it's as if they look at you and as if you are a hurdle or something that is there that is a fly that is bothering them, that you're there at the hospital. We have to start treating people like human beings, and this is not good enough. So if it's not happening at the hospital, forgive me, but we did receive several complaints about treatment that people would have had. We know that people were overworked and everybody got the stress and things like that. Do not take it out on the patients or on the customers or anybody else that come in contact with you. The members of the public have a right to be treated with respect, and let us do things right, man. It's not good. It's not good. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Gildarie. I'm a single mother of 2 small children. My husband passed away last February. I'm a regular listener to this program. I'm deeply in need of your help.
And of course, everyone is locked in. Just add your comments, send the messages. Gildarie will address the issue.
I'm not sure about address. We try to find some answers.
To these issues.
So very quickly, thank you very much, dear Riaz. Let me see, elections. Good afternoon, Leonard. About the nurses striking in the pandemic, the government should bring in some nurses from overseas. It's so fast, then one striking will back to work again. I've seen some criticisms of the nurse, even from the government and things like that. I understand they've sworn an oath that these are some of the things, the frontline workers, they can do certain things. But we got to see both sides of the thing. Do I have a very open mind?
Yeah.
I think it should be a message straight to the authorities to look, these guys have demands, let them meet halfway too.
Yeah, but I agree to that, and I have the greatest respects for nurses and doctors and the frontline workers, but I'm a bit peeved when I see it fuels down the journey of politics.
Because, and it's the same thing that happened, Riaz.
This is why some may say, I'm wrong to say it, but Jack is jacket. It's been influenced or hijacked, of which I don't know. But how I'm seeing it, as from my view, how I'm seeing it, it's been fueled politically. And fuel politically means that you are trying to create a political instability society. So if you start with the nurses and the doctors, that's a very critical area given the pandemic that we're still in. So I kind of find it very childish and very peeved as to we not wanting unity among our people and that building. And I heard you mention as I was driving coming across here about, and I support this every time, and this goes for the past, the present, and the future. Every time the politicians walk out of parliament, cut their pay.
But why are you, I don't understand this.
Why
are we paying
If
parliament?
I don't come in to work here today, I get flex the other day. I didn't get a job cut pay from Tishana. If I don't come tomorrow, the next day, I can get cut pay. Why are we allowing politicians in 2020, and note my word, politicians, in 2020, to get all these sprouses, and then you go walk in parliament and then walk out back in 5 minutes?
But here the issue, there's a fundamental issue this area as if you go into parliament, which is one of the highest decision-making body, lawmaking body in Guyana, if you dare and to serve the people, why is it being considered a pay? You have set yourself up to go to the highest office in the land. And after the president, it means sitting in parliament should be a privilege. It should be an honor. And you're there and you're not going, you're not turning up to the people's job. They don't reach every day. This is not an everyday thing,
Exactly.
You're reaching once in a while and you're absent from that.
Yeah, I mean...
And plus you're taking the pay, you're eating the people's food. I mean, this is not good enough. Name and shame them, man. That's what we need to do. We need to do that. Let's go back quickly to some other callers. Before we do that, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you very much for the encouragement. Let me see what they're saying today. Hi Leonard, the grade 6 teacher at the Kaieteur Primary School is sending work to the grade 6 children, which is wonderful. But is only spending about 5 minutes on Zoom, or she would just explain one sums on the blackboard and have somebody recording her, and she would send it on WhatsApp. The teacher is busy giving The teacher is busy giving private lessons. So the teacher at Kaieteur Primary School there, you hearing what the people saying there? Kaieteur Primary School in the Canal number 1 area. The teacher's busy giving private lessons. The school have internet, and she should have longer sessions on the Zoom explaining to the children. Some teachers don't know how to read and write, and how they're going to help the children. Can the minister look into this? I am going to, of course, send this to the minister, let them look into it. I don't want to take bread out of people's mouth, but at the end of the day, if the people says report it to the minister, Gildarie can only do what he can. But let me give it to you straight what is happening with regards to my son. I pay very close attention. The little girl who's just passed to go to Bishops, she has not registered for Bishops. I think the registration is going to start from Monday. In the meantime, the little boy has been, he's enthusiastic. He complained to me, do you understand that since school start, I did 21 assignments? I said, wow. And so you didn't get to play no video game. No, I don't have time to play video game. I'm just looking at it there. So, but he says, he says, this morning I see him with a bare towel. He's going into the washroom. I said, what happened? He says, I'm taking a 5. I didn't get to bathe for the first class. And so I'm heading into the washroom now. But I say this, I bring this up because when you look at what some kids are not getting, and when you hear him for 5 minutes, and he is complaining about the long classes that he has, he's privileged.
Yeah, I understand.
What happened to the other kids that don't have?
Yeah, it is a challenge still. It is a challenge still, and I think it's going to remain a challenge. And I like to just call a spade, given the fact that I've seen, like Minister Manik Chan went up out of town. That was region 7, or was it 9? 7 or 9?
Somewhere in the hinterland.
Good, somewhere in the hinterlands area. Take worksheets and advise teachers how to work about it. Yes, I like to think out of the box situation. But on the coastland, there's still lots of students who are suffering from that. I've seen posts from 2 individuals that are very vocal on Facebook. Good afternoon to Zahir Abbas and Ajay Baksh. Blam and his blackout 2 hours now, and school session in progress.
Oh, there's another thing too. Yeah,
I've seen both of these gentlemen, friends of mine, so I could analyze their post and say it loud. Blam, school session, and we get blackout 2 hour now. That's a challenge.
How do you deal with it?
So I think the government is on a challenge roll when it comes to
I don't
school right
envy
now.
it. It's a nightmare. It's literally a nightmare.
That's what it is. It is.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm living in Moblisa along the Linden Highway. I have a problem there. There's a woman who is asking people to join in a group to get fast cash. Oh Lord, run. Now she collected money and telling the business people the stop don't want to return back the monies. Please, I need to advise what to do. We need our monies. All right, the first thing to do is to visit the nearest police station. You know where the police station is? Go to the police station and make a complaint. And if anybody asks you want fast cash, says, yes, I'm going to go get a job. But don't you dare take your money and give it to anybody. Because if you see the way that they live in, and if you see they're driving a Lexus and a Hummer, must know something is going good for them. But even then, when they tell you that they're making so much of money, what kind of business do you have that you put in the money? You would recall that there's 2 persons that are before the court on over 70 plus charges.
Were they on?
They've been placed on bail. That matters before the court. 70 plus charges that they're facing. That is Yuri Garcia Dominguez and of course his wife Atikas Ishmael. So this person, with regards to the Moblisa, you should go to the police station. If he doesn't want to return this money today, you go into the police station tomorrow, and you want to report this matter that this person did so, and they said that you're going to give you, and you walk with all your documents. And if you see that the police are dragging the foot too, contact Kaieteur News, and they are going to be willing to have it published. I know these are things that we like. We like to embarrass people when they steal from this government, when they steal from the country, when they do things that are not according to the laws and regulations. If Gildarie does something to embarrass him, that's how bad it is. Everybody.
It was you that break the arm. Did you ever get through the 2.5? You get through the vehicle?
No,
I hear Kevin Smith was looking for one as well, but
I don't know. But if anybody buy a SUV that is 2016, that is 3000 cc, and it's a nice SUV for 2.5, I want you guys to hook me up too. I've been hearing some things. Dear Gildarie, I have no objections to the North's pay increase, but the money must come from from that recovered from APNU. There have been many reports of misappropriation, vehicles sold on values, land given free or on the values, and many other financial wrongdoings.
Well, we did saw the vehicle sold on the value. We saw one at least.
Hi guys, I would like you guys to assist me in buying a laptop for my online classes, to do my online classes. I would appreciate it. My name is so I'm informed too. Alright, let me see. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask. I'm asking everybody in the book to see what they could do. It's a cost thing too, because you can't get it for the people, you know.
Yep.
Let me see. Okay. So, all right. Thank you very much. Raj, do we have a caller in the line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Oh gosh, wrong body.
Aye?
Sorry, I was trying to get on to Gildarie, but I don't know what happened there.
No, I don't know what happened, but you're talking to Gildarie. It's Raj caused that to happen, but you could talk to Gildarie. Go ahead. Huh? Go right ahead, man. Go right ahead. Hello? Did we lost it? Oh, apologies. It's Raj. Raj is doing some kind of things that's crazy there, man. I don't know what is it that Raj ate this morning. Let me see. Leonard, not every parent could afford to do Zoom classes, so I hope that the ministry put things in place when school open. So
Talking about Zoom classes.
so parents should go over the work that they're doing on Zoom.
Raj, let me back my phone.
Uh-huh.
Someone sent me a flyer yesterday, a Monday. Let me get the name of it in Numbrel. Yes. Now to find the name of this person here quickly. But what I know, it's that in Numbrel, it's going to be real hard for me to find this flyer back right now because I have a whole heap of messages from yesterday to today. But I did recall it that Numbrel, there's a Mandir in Numbrel that is open their Mandir with Wi-Fi, and any student could go there. I'm working on getting the name of that Mandir because I'm trying to remember the name of the pandit that sent it to me yesterday. And he asked me to announce it. I did it yesterday, but that Numbrel Mandir, there is opening their Mandir for free classes, to use their internet for free. And I'm going to get the name of the Mandir shortly. I'm just running my Facebook inbox altogether, but they've opened it. That's any students could go and enjoy free Wi-Fi there.
And yes, and that is a very good point there, Riaz. Look, all across the country, wherever you are, as long as you have Wi-Fi in your home, and if you could open it, you don't have to allow the kids to come in your house if you don't want to, but you could have them by a shed or wherever it is. Do something. Let's do something at least until this government is good. I know that, we like the privacy of our homes, but this is not normal time.
I got it. So it's the Siva Satsang Mandir at 263 Block 12 Numbrel, East Coast Demerara, or you could call Pandit Rajan on 651-7315. 651-7315. Free Wi-Fi for students and teachers. No barriers of anyone's religion, race, or belief. It's open for any student, any teachers. But they're also asking you that you need to wear a mask as it is. That's a Sivak Satsang Mandir. I hope I got that name right. And that's at 163 Block 12 Numbrel, East Coast Demerara.
Thank you very much for that, and that's very good for that Mandir there in Numbrel. Thank you very much for being a good citizen of Guyana. Hi, good afternoon. There's an issue ongoing at the Saudi hospital. The hospital only have visiting 6 o'clock, no visit for lunch. The patients who is disabled or have a stroke and they can't move and to help them are starving. The nurses are not looking after the patients. Most of the time the nurses sit and are gaffing. Some nurse did get phone credit and bonus, but the Indian nurses do not get anything. This is Saudi hospital. I'm going to send this to my guy, my reporter across there, and let them look into this, because if it is that we have attitude coming from people, and I understand that there's an allegation and everything, and somebody would say there's an allegation and there's an alligator. Who used to say that?
Uncle Cian.
Uncle Cian, a good day to you, Mr. Cian Sharma. How you doing, sir? I
Cian,
hope that
thank
you're
you.
doing good.
Thank
You know,
you.
whenever we meet up, it's always a pleasure talking to him and Mr. Sharma. I want to say good day to you, good folks there. And of course, with regards to the Saudi hospital back again, we have to ensure. Let me see what they say here. Okay, somebody, my apologies. Somebody sent me a joke there, but I missed good morning, and they're talking about a different country. I will probably have to read that to you sometime. But in the meantime, let us go right back into the callers there. We have a couple minutes more. Let's capitalize on that. Good afternoon, caller. You're here. We missed that. Yes, we missed that. Let me see. Good afternoon, Leonard. We really need some help around the Parfait Harmony. It's almost every corner. They have people selling weed. Sometimes you're afraid of leaving your home. Mr. Errol Watts, commanding Region 3 there. How are you doing, sir? I want to say good day. Somebody called me this morning and said that you're doing an extremely good job. If you go on at any given point in time, you're not going to find a bar open past the curfew hour that you're doing your job. And I want to say good day to you. I know you're a very serious man when it comes to doing your job. And somebody is saying here, Parfait Harmony, there's a police station there or a police outpost. And I said every corner somebody selling weed. So I'm not sure whether you do it. If you go, like I was in Jamaica, Queens, right? And I wanted to know why up on the power poles, the power
There's got
wires,
boots?
there's some boots there. And he said, no, those areas there are blocks. You call those blocks.
Yes.
And they're being controlled. When you see that, no, there's a gang there.
Yes.
And they're watching you. So you're walking on the street. So every time I'm there, you could feel eyes on you, but you can't see anybody. So if what this person is saying there, in Parfait every block. So what you have there is a mini gang area that's controlling different areas there. And Mr. Errol Watts, how you doing? We hope that you
Commander
understand.
Watts got take a visit.
Yes.
See how everybody's going around there.
Yes, and so you need to do that. We're not saying you should not do your business. Don't do it in my neighborhood. Go somewhere else. And so there's another caller in line. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Hello. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon.
How you doing?
Good, good. How yourself?
Pretty good.
Happy belated birthday, Riyaz.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my brother. I was trying the whole week last week and this week to get onto y'all concern the same these bus drivers and these Guyanese citizens.
The bus drivers and what?
The Guyanese citizens, they need to start using the bus stop because we as truck driver, they put him in the pressure and stopping all over on the road.
Man, you would see how this pull off. Imagine a man to see you there with a couple inches. I don't know how to find the space to do it. I think they have special angels who protect them and just protect other people because of madness what they do on the road. I mean, there's some good bus drivers, but they don't care.
A lot of bus stops where they don't use it.
You know why they do that? Because what they have is tunnel vision. You know what's tunnel vision? You only see what is in front of you. And so all they're thinking is about the next passenger. And that's all they're concerned. They don't care what is inside of them, behind them, whatever is coming. They don't care.
Because at the truck park at DSL back through there, we normally park up just next to DSL and so on. They don't have a no parking sign or no stopping sign. But they're saying we obstructing the traffic for the morning. We don't obstruct no traffic. If the bus man them stop all about on the road, they don't stop in the bus stop.
What the police should see, what the police should see is all those obstruction in the road. There is at the Magdumi, is it the Agricola area there? There's a tire shop there. Let me call these people out, man. There's a tire shop there that takes over one lane. You go to there's a Bagot Song area there. Another tire shop takes up one lane. You're gonna see the madness that happen on the busiest road on the East Bank.
About all these things because they put in the truck operating in pressure on.
Right, and you go down to Horsell in there, one hardware store. They're my friends, but I gotta call them out too. Take out one.
Don't happen down there already.
Yeah, but they take over the one lane, and I don't think these people understand. You see, Bobcats, everything else are reversing on the road, man. You guys have it.
They need to look into this thing here, so it's nice.
Zoning and everything has to come into play. They need to fix it, and they need to fix it. You cannot.
Exactly. Well, we understand these one road. According to my understanding, they might fix this last because it's all the standard loom that come from highway, so they might do this road last.
Well, let's see what happens there.
I just observed, like, according to how they're working.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, dear sir. I hear you. Thank you very much. So to all the truck drivers that are out there and doing the thing, take time on the road. I see some morning time when the airport used to be open, go to the airport once in a while, and I couldn't believe the speed with some of them trucks. I said, wow, it's like as if you're in a horror movie seeing the big truck looming down on you. You guys need to take care. But I want to say good day. Hard-working folks. They've been struggling. They have mortgages to pay. They have truck loans to pay. They have so many things that they got to do. But you guys are hard-working. It's an honest living. Keep it up, but make sure that you protect yourselves on the road. I want to say good day to everybody who's joining us on Facebook at the moment and also on YouTube. Davina Ramgolam, and then we have Bibi Shabiru who's saying every single day. Tavira Ramesh, Tivari Ramesh, sorry. Gina Singh, thank you very much, dear. Chandra Narayan, Asma Bakas, or Rihanna Ali. I hope I'm pronouncing it there. Kimberly Simon, Andrea Tombi, Rita Jagmohan, Annie Mahadio, Prakash Sadhu. Then you have Kimberly Simon, Nalini Singh, Anand Barkley, Jai Prasad, Dionarayan Gokul. But you guys just need to sing. And if I miss you, it's because there's so many that is on right now. And I've missed those folks who are also joining us here on the YouTube as well. So this is a Wake Up Guyana show. Leonard Gildarie, we got a couple more minutes to go. And we have Riaz. Riaz, what else has happened big that we've missed?
Well, nothing. Everyone is waiting to see the next phase of opening. I'm thinking that as it is, we've still been hearing the president talks a lot about business and commerce, and I still think that we will be with COVID for a long while. That's been about it. We've also seen in the news of such a gruesome act of a man attempting or did with someone that died having intercourse.
No, he is supposed to be sentenced today. It is a strange story. He broke in. The desperation.
Very strange.
Yeah, it's a desperation. He broke into that morgue. The story is he broke into the morgue. Some families were going in to look after one of their relatives who died too. And they found the man on top of the body committing the act. So I'm not sure whether he knew the person or whatever it is, but it takes a special kind of individual.
Yeah,
he needs help. That person needs help.
That person needs help. I will also again. I've been saying this because I don't want to say I want to see danger, but I would like persons to be more alert. I've seen a lot of markings are happening on the East Coast Road. I saw school zone signs are being repainted. I saw a pedestrian.
What do you mean repainted?
Okay, so they had probably stenciled imitations of it, but it's now repainted.
Yeah, they do not all along the East Bank and so on. I like that.
They did that. I like it. I liked it when I saw it in the previous administration. I give kudos to
even
Pato
along
on that.
the East Bank, I saw several parts of the road. What it did is run some metal across the road. It's a kind of speed hump because the minute that you drive that, it wakes you up if you fall asleep. So that's a very good thing. I think somebody's thinking.
I saw they start putting up school junction signs on the road big, which is good. What I also saw on the East Coast is that they're like double pedestrian crossing. So when I say double, it's that start of a corner and end of a corner. Now, I want to appeal to pedestrians more on this. A pedestrian crossing does not mean you walk on and you immediately walk.
You got to look
straight.
left, look right, look left, look right.
I've seen this, and then the pedestrian at times are more angry than the driver when a driver is coming. It brakes doesn't mean stop instant. And we need to understand this. Pedestrians, you need to play a role, and I've experienced this many times. Exiting a minibus can stop on the pedestrian because he gets special power. He can stop on the pedestrian, and the passenger is gonna come out and walk in front of the bus and don't care what is coming on the opposite direction. Straight over. That's pressure. Another thing I've seen, and I give credits to First Lady for doing some great works. I saw projects started. I like the ideas about some nice little flowers between the medium of it. But if you're to go in certain areas and not very far off, like let's say LBI, little bit before Agriculture Road, and it sounds like I'm attacking, but I'll just call it out. The bushes is so high that someone could stand in between there and just make a dash in the road. You can't see them. I had some friends and me who were driving over the weekend, and a few other times. And this is just a matter of concern. This is me just being a concerned citizen, and more so a concerned driver. Because someone in the middle of that tree and I can't see you, and you dash out, and I'm coming right there. That's
Well, we got to be very, very careful
so
with
please
that.
just look into these little things and pay a little bit more attention on our roadways. I keep saying road because I'm a very ardent supporter of road safety, of which
No, you got to do that.
of which I want to remind people that the roadways are not the same 10 years ago. We are not in the same amount of vehicles like we had 10 years ago. Some persons may say WR sound like a broken record because it's something I preach every day. But I'm very concerned because I've known friends who got in minor incidents, and it wasn't their fault because of carelessness, but it was more so the pedestrians not paying attention. So we all need to play a role.
Well,
All
what
of
you
us.
find, one of the things that I find that it seems to be a growing phenomenon is people switching lanes.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how you switch. You imagine you barely got a car length in front, and then somebody just switch in front and then switch back, and then just put on an indicator and just make so without it saying anything. Just put on the indicator and just switch. How do you do that? But there's another caller online. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're in the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
How you doing? Go right
I'm
ahead.
good. I'm good. Somebody want to talk to you. Just a minute.
Yes.
Hi, Gildarie.
Yes, it is. Go right ahead, sir.
How are you? A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Riyadh.
Good afternoon.
I'm enjoying the program. I would first like to commend the Minister of Youth and Sport for the virtual concert last weekend. I believe it was the best, and not only for our country, but it was of international standard. Would like to encourage all those who haven't watched it yet. It is on YouTube, Facebook, and all that, and it showcased the beautiful talent, the range of talent that we have as a country. And so very, very commendable, job well done. I believe it also spoke to the fact that this government intends to break the racial trouble that we're having in the country, because I believe represented on the stage there were almost every one of the race we have in the country, and so it was. I know lots of money was spent to pull this off, but I believe it was timely and it was needed. And so thanks again to the minister and everyone else involved. Would also like to air another concern that I have, and that is that the GRA branch in New Amsterdam. I was told that two of its staff were tested positive of COVID. Now, the rest of the staff are very concerned as to why they were not administered a test as well, because the staff were sent home, but the branch continued to operate as normal. And they are seeing hundreds of people from the public going in there every day, and I consider that to be a terrible risk. I am calling on whoever's in charge to look into this branch, because if those two people are tested positive and they interacted with the rest of the staff, then what's happening with the rest of the staff? The staff were told that so far they're not showing any signs of being sick. Well, are they going to wait until that happens?
I hear what you're saying. I'm going to raise this issue. I'm going to send a message to the Commissioner General and see what he says from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you guys have a good day.
You too.
Take care.
So, all the way there, talking about Burbies, the GRA New Amsterdam branch there, two staffers there with COVID, and we got to be very, very careful, because when it happens, there's some measures that has to be taken into place. You have to sanitize that entire area, and you got to double up your efforts when it comes to ensuring that the person that you come in contact with every time there's a red flag that goes up, you redouble your efforts when it comes to protecting the people who you're going to come in contact with, as well as the staffers. So this is something that we have to look at. So we come down to program time now, and unfortunately, every day it's unfortunate that we have to say goodbye. I think we probably have to do it a little longer. If I probably have to ask my boss. He's going to get a little upset with me because he wants me down in the newsroom. Have to do other work too. The work does not stop here. Gildarie has other work to do. So it's the Wake Up Guyana show, and I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. And of course, keeping me company is no other than W.R. Riaz in his own way, his own style. One day after birthday, his 49th birthday.
One day after Raj spoke as well.
And after Raj would have spoken, and Raj is
Yes.
awake today. He did not sleep today, and this is a very good thing. And so I want to say thank you very much wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for tuning in with us. You could look at this program here on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or also on YouTube. Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube, and we would have been coming to you live from the studio here on Saffron Street, Charleston, on 99.1 in Georgetown, Demerara, and on the Esquivel Coast, and 99.5 in Berbice. And so until then, we're going to be back here, same place, same time tomorrow. Let us see you bring those talks, those talking points with us, so we could be able to have a discussion on it, not necessarily find all the answers, but definitely try to put you in connection with those people who can, and maybe we could have those discussions on these issues here. In the meantime, stay safe until we meet again, and thank you very much, Riaz and Raj and the rest of the folks.
Thank you. Take care.